my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I am collabing again with my girl Tracy. Her channel name is Lilith Luna, and of course I will have a link to her channel in my description box. This is our third collab together, just the two of us, and then she and I took part in a group collab with Cheryl and Ashley, and I love Tracy. I adore her. She is beautiful, she's talented, she's fun, we have a ton in common, we love to chat with each other on Instagram, and I really hope that you guys will go and subscribe to her channel and show her a ton of love and support if you have not yet done that. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a palette bingo with the Melt She's in Parties palette. Yes, and then I came up with 10 random questions for us to answer while we put our eye looks together. Of course I did. So look at this beautiful color story. Isn't that amazing? To me, this is a very like romantic and like moody palette, you know? I kind of wish that I'd pulled this into my Depeche Mode video, honestly. I don't know, I didn't. And I really like the look that I created for that video, but I am thrilled to be playing with this palette again. I've only used it like twice, so this is my third time using the palette. The last time I used it, I actually just put a couple of like the kind of, I don't know, muted tones together. I mean, there's some muted tones in here. I think I just used these two shades for my look. I went out to dinner for my son's birthday and it was awesome. Loved it. So let me show you the 5 shades that I randomly generated out of this palette to put my look together with. And then Tracy's doing it on her own. Like we're not, I mean, we could end up with the same 5 shades, but that's not the goal. You know what I mean? Like just whatever shades you want to choose or that you choose. Okay. You guys are like, okay, keep going. Let's go. So I generated this shade here called Skeleton Kiss. It's beautiful. It's like cream. It looks cream colored, but it's got this really pretty like light pink shift to it. And then let's see, what else did I choose? She's in Parties. This one right here. This beautiful shimmer shade that's kind of like a medium wine tone, I guess. And then I chose Lost Control, which this is more of like a purpley shimmer shade, like mauve purple. And then I chose number 4, which is Last Caress, which is a matte shade, kind of like a medium mauvey purple. And then I also chose Mean Streak, the darkest matte in here. So I have 2 mattes and 3 shimmers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Last Caress in my transition area. Then I'm gonna put Mean Streak across my entire mobile lid. I'm gonna top Mean Streak with Skeleton Kiss, yes. And then I'm gonna use She's in Parties and Lost Control along with one of the mattes on my lower lash lines. You know, I thought that'd be fun because, you know, normally I would just take all 3 shimmers, put them on my lids, and I thought, let's do something a little different. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I forgot to prime my eyelid. So I'm gonna go prime my eyelid. I will be right back. Alrighty, so this eyelid is primed in the Juvia's Place Prep Prime Eye Primer. And then of course, both of my brows are done. So let's get into the shade here first called Last Caress and put that in my transition area. And like I said, I do have some questions to answer. I changed my chair in here. I have this old chair of my daughter's that was in her bedroom, and it's lower down than the other one, but it doesn't make as much noise. So I'm hoping that'll work out okay. We'll see. Okay, so let's start answering the questions. Number 1, what is your go-to breakfast order at a restaurant? I'm usually the one that's going to get an omelet. I love omelets. And I really like the restaurants where you can like create your own omelet. I love that. I will get cheese and bacon, and I usually get tomatoes and mushrooms in my omelet. That's my favorite. And we do have a restaurant here in town called the Glenwood. Kind of like my husband and I, our date spot. Well, it used to be. We haven't been there for quite some time. Well, we were there a few months ago. He took me out to lunch there, which was really nice. But when we first started dating, we would go to the Glenwood quite often. It's a really fun, cute restaurant. And it almost did not survive COVID, but it did. So I was very glad. They did alter their hours. I mean, who cares? Nobody cares. God. Here we go. Get ready. But yeah, I love their omelets. So yeah, omelets. I also really like pancakes. I love hash browns. Sometimes I will get like just, you know, like bacon and eggs and hash browns and toast. That's something I get a lot too. Now I'm just starving. I haven't eaten anything yet. And I'm like, ooh, Hash browns, toast, omelet. Yes, let's go. Number 2, do you think money brings happiness? Yes and no. Well, I think what money can bring for me anyway is a sense of calm. There have been times in my life where I had very little money, and I've never been wealthy ever, but there have been times in my life where I was pretty effing broke, and that was not fun. It was very stressful, and I was not calm, because I was panicking about how am I gonna live and how are my kids gonna live, that sort of thing. There's been some times when I've gone through that for sure. So I guess how I look at it is that I think money makes life easier in some ways. It provides a sense of like security and like calm for me. But happiness, I mean, I don't know that it really brings happiness. I think some people think being wealthy or having a lot of money is going to make them happy. And then they get a lot of money and they're still not happy. And it's because they're a miserable person, no matter what is in their life, right? So I don't know if I really think it brings happiness. It just, for me, it just makes me like take a deep breath and calm down if I have enough money to like live comfortably, and I'm at that place in my life where my husband and I are living pretty comfortably, I would say. I mean, yes or no, not yes. No, we're not wealthy at all. No, but we're not like struggling to pay bills and things like that, which we have before, and that was not very fun. But in this moment in time, we're doing okay. I do really like that shade. I do feel like I have kind of a funky edge right there, which I will probably use my e.l.f. contour palette to fix. Cheat. I'm cheat. So now I'm going to go into Mean Streak and put that across my mobile lid. Number 3, what is your most and least favorite popular phrase? My most and least favorite. My least favorite is, it is what it is. I just think that's dumb. I do say it sometimes though. And I like want to slap my hands over my mouth and say, don't say that. Just because I think it's a redundant thing to say. Like, it is what it is. I commonly will say it isn't what it isn't, just to be contrary. But I know tons of people that say it is what it is. And, it's not like it makes me angry or anything to hear it. I just think it's kind of silly because, of course, it is what it is, But I get what they're meaning by that. And, my favorite phrase... Oh, geez, my favorite phrase. I can't even think of anything right now. I would say like, I don't know. I say cool dude a lot, or bitchin'. I say bitchin' quite often. Totally aging myself. That's such an 80s phrase. Or I'll say, that is badass. I say badass a lot too. So bitchin', badass, it's not really a phrase, like it's just a word, but I don't know. I cannot think of a particular phrase. If I can think of something as I'm editing, I'll pop it up here, is what I'll do. Number 4, what's your favorite soda? I'm not a big soda drinker. I just am not really. I do drink it sometimes, but it's pretty rare. I was raised in a household where soda drinking was not really, it wasn't that it wasn't allowed, it's just my mom didn't really want soda in the house because she didn't want me just sucking it back, so yeah, and I never really had soda around in the house when my kids were little either. So I don't think my kids are big soda drinkers either. But if I have to choose one, because that's the question, I would say Dr. Pepper. I really prefer Dr. Pepper. Like if I go to a restaurant and I'm having like a cheeseburger, usually a soda sounds really good with that, and I'll get Dr. Pepper. I also like cherry Coke or Pepsi. My husband is a huge cherry Pepsi fanatic. He loves it. Loves it. I think half of his blood system is cherry Pepsi. Number 5, what celebrity has the best fashion sense? I'm gonna go back around with this brush and just kind of chill that out a little bit, just blend it together a little bit better. Best, I say Taraji P. Henderson. I think her style is absolutely incredible. She is just gorgeous. I love how she dresses and how she puts her, like, you know, just her outfits and hair and shoes and jewelry, all of that. Oh, love her. And then, I really like Rooney Mara too. She was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And, yeah, I really like her a lot. I like her style a lot. She wears some really cool dresses. I also really like Meryl Streep. I think she dresses beautifully as well. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I think that would be it. Male celebrities, I don't care about that. Number 6, did you like school growing up? Why or why not? Okay, so now I'm going to go into Skeleton Kiss and put that across my lid. Did I like school? That's a loaded question. Let's see, how do I answer this? There were things I liked about school growing up, and then there were things I did not like about school growing up. I went to a middle school where my mom was a teacher at, and there were kids that, you know, didn't like my mom. You know, that's just what happens. Not everybody likes teachers, right? And ooh, oh, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. If I was really, really creative, I would do a halo eye with this, but I'm not going to. Because I just don't want to sit here and stress out about it. And so a lot of times the kids wouldn't like my mom, and they would, you know, come up, I hate your mom. And and also a lot of the teachers, you know, my mom was friends with outside of school, and they'd be at my house and stuff. And so at school, they would treat me very differently because they didn't want it to look like they were favoring me. So that was kind of a weird thing, really. But you know, it was fine. Also, my parents got divorced when I was like in the 5th grade, like right before I went into middle school. And that was a big damper on my life and just school. And, you know, my dad was having an affair with another, well, they both ended up becoming assistant principals at the local high school. And, you know, all the kids knew what was going on, and that was yuck. That was really yucky. But then I went to a different high school. I feel like I sprayed the shade, and I don't think I should have, because it's like taking the shimmer. That's really weird. Look, it took the shimmer like right out of the shade. That's weird. Let me go back in with my finger. That's weird. It's just like the shimmer just disappeared. What the hell? That's really bizarre. Or maybe it's just that it's, well, I guess I can kind of see the shimmer. That is really weird. I'm not happy about that at all. What the hell happened to it? Okay, so let's rewind this. That is so bizarre. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of, well, yeah, I guess you can kind of see it. But it's like the creamy stuff. At first, it was like really showing up, and it was really cool looking. And now, maybe the spraying of it was not the best idea. That's so weird. So now I'm thinking maybe I should top it. Let me try going in a little bit more with my finger. Like, look, see how pretty that is? And then maybe it's just because it's over the top of that darker shade. Just isn't really jiving that well. That's so weird. So I'm gonna leave it. I was gonna top it with one of these, but I'm not going to. So I'm gonna go back in with Mean Streak and just kind of go around the edge of that. Okay, back to the question. Geez, that kind of derailed me there for a minute. High school, I lost my best friends in a car accident, so that was tough. And I hated high school. I hated it. I was so glad to get the hell out of high school. Ugh. But I loved college. College was wonderful. And grade school is fine too. So, you know, kind of a bit of both. I loved parts of it, and I did not like parts of it at all. Number 7, when was the last time you cried? When was the last time I cried? Oh, I know when it was. It was that last week? I don't know. I was worrying about some things and I cried. I don't really want to get into it here in this video. And I reached out to Jan and Shawnee and needed some help with just, you know, I was just worried about something with my grandson. He's totally fine, totally fine. But I just was concerned. And so I just needed to like have a space where I could like, because I didn't want to fall apart with my daughter. He's fine, totally fine, fine. Nothing's wrong. But it was just, you know, yeah, it was a little tough. I'm going to go back around with this brush. And so anyway, I just needed some friends to be able to like be upset with. And so I reached out to Jan and Shawnee and on Marco Polo, and I cried, and they were wonderful, very wonderful. That shade is so weird, you guys. I'm not happy, pissed actually. I mean, I'm not like, you know, violently angry or anything, but it's just, I don't get it. It's just like totally, the shimmer just totally went away. And this is not what I was anticipating. I thought that when it first started off, I was like, yeah, then it just kind of like soaked into the, yeah, I don't like it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch courses here. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and put she's in, well, I don't know now. Because I kind of want to put, actually I'm gonna go into loss control and put that over the top. I just can't leave it like this. And I'm not gonna spray it. Number 8, do you believe in karma? Yes, I absolutely believe in karma. Oh, wow. Way too much on the brush, so I'm getting massive fallout on my face. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do now. I think I am gonna do something similar to like a halo eye, because that just made it like super dark. You know what? No, I'm not doing anything differently. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm just gonna leave it like this. Absolutely. It's just gonna be a very monochromatic dark look, and that's fine. Yes, I think I'll probably put like a fun eyeliner shade on today. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I have never had a negative experience with this palette, but this might be a little negative. I don't know. Back to the questions. Sorry, I feel bad because this look is kind of not, yeah, but answer the questions. Okay, I do believe in karma, and I almost poked myself in the eye. I think that we do send out a message to the world around us based on our behavior, based on how we treat other people, based on just our behaviors, I guess. And I do believe that the world will echo back to you whatever it is you're putting out. And if you're putting out yuck, you're going to get yuck echoed back to you. And if you're putting out good, then most likely you're going to have good echoed back to you. I mean, you know, shit happens to everybody. You know, we all go through really tough times and struggles and all that kind of thing. Well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us do, I would say. So, you know, I don't think karma applies to everything. But I do think that if you are a jerk, get ready, because you're going to have jerk coming right back at you. And the sad thing is that when people do have the jerk coming back at them, rather than, you know, taking some stock in that, like maybe I'm gonna go back into Last Caress, taking some stock in that and like changing up their behavior, they don't do that. And rather than looking at themselves and trying to like better their behavior and their actions, they blame the world around them. Like I've heard people say things like, this is what just blows my mind. That like, let's say, I don't know, people stop talking to a particular person. They just stop talking to them because the person's acting like an ass. And they're like, no, I'm done. No, we're not going to be friends anymore. And the person that's acting like an ass will turn around and say, well, they just couldn't accept me for who I am. Now I've found other friends that accept me for who I am. And I'm like, it's not that they couldn't accept you for who you are. It's that you were treating them like crap. That's why no one's talking to you anymore. Or, you know, you've lost these people in your life is because you're being mean and nasty and a bully, you know? And I wish people could like, you know, it's not fun to realize that you're acting like an ass. No, it's not. But when you do realize you're acting like an ass and you do, or you're seeing people pulling away from you, that's not always across the board, but a lot of times, then maybe change your behavior rather than making it seem like people aren't accepting you for who you are. Maybe it's because the way you're acting and the way you're behaving is crappy. So anyway, yes, I do believe in karma. Absolutely, I do. And it's really important for me to put good out into the world so that I get good back from the world. Okay, you know, it's okay. It's pretty. It's just, this is not where I thought this look was headed. I'm gonna go into the shade right here and just take that edge down from around the outside, right? Yeah. Okay, number 9. What's the most serious injury you've ever had? I would say when I broke my arm when I was in the 2nd grade. That was a pretty bad break. I broke both bones, like right here. And yeah, it took weeks for that to heal. Like, well, not weeks, it took months actually. Ugh. I broke my arm at the like middle of June, and I did not get out of a cast for that until like October or November of that same year, because it just wasn't healing. And it finally healed, obviously, and it's fine. But that was pretty significant injury. And then, you know, my back, herniated discs in my back was pretty yuck too. That was awful. Horrible. God, that was horrible. So yeah, I've dislocated my knee before. That hurt. I ran right into a metal pole when I was in the 8th grade. I was running out of the gym to go to track practice. And my friend was right in front of me, and she went one way and I went the other way, and I just slammed my knee first right into this metal pole that was in between the 2 double doors and dislocated my kneecap. That hurt pretty bad. It went right back in on its own. Well, not right back in, but it went back in on its own. I've also dislocated my shoulder. That was horrifying. When I was water skiing and my shoulder came up over my life jacket. Ooh, that was awful. I'm just gonna go around with this brush a little bit too. So yeah, that was not fun. So I've had some, you know, it's not very fun injuries, but nothing life-threatening. And then the last question here is, what's a weird smell you really enjoy? I have an affection for a lot of very weird smells, but I love the smell of like freshly laid asphalt, like the tar smell. I love the smell of gasoline. Love it. I love the smell of sunscreen. I really like the smell of chlorine. I mean, it can be a little much, you know, in public pools. It's like, whoa, it's almost like you're breathing in fire. But I do like it. On occasion, I have liked the smell of skunk. I know that's very strange. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of another weird smell. And I'm obsessed with my husband's smell. Obsessed with his smell. Oh, he smells so good. Like the back of his neck. Like in the mornings when we get up and we're having our coffee and stuff, I'll get up to go get something out of the kitchen. And every time I will stop, he's sitting on the couch, I will get back behind him and just on the back of his neck. He's like, okay. I mean, he tolerates it pretty well, but after a while he's like, okay, I don't think I have any smell left. Get off my neck, lady. So I am done with this look. I do think it's pretty. Well, I'm not done. I got to do my lower lash lines. I'll do that off camera. I do think it's pretty. It just turned out a little differently than I thought it was going to. So I am going to find a fun eyeliner color to pop over the top of that. I think that'll really jazz it up. I'm going to clean this up, do my lower lash lines, my other eye, my face, and I'll come back. So this is my finished look, and I really like how this look turned out. I wasn't sure I was going to like this look. I honestly thought about just stopping and trying this again tomorrow morning and putting the shades together in a different configuration, but I'm so glad I just stuck with it. I really am. The one shimmer shade I used, I don't love, and I'll talk more about that here in just a minute because I will show you the palette again. But let me show you just a few things I threw on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I used a super lustrous bullet lipstick from Revlon, or the Revlon Super Lustrous Bullet Lipstick in the shade 477 Black Cherry. Now, I got a set of these at TJ Maxx quite a while ago, and I just completely forget that I have this shade. I don't know why, because I love it. It's such a beautiful, deep lip color. It definitely says Black Cherry to me. And I think I'm going to keep this out on my desk so I'll remember to use it more because I just love it. I do struggle sometimes with darker lip shades on me as I age. I think sometimes they look a little, but I really love this. I do. For my upper lid liner, I used a combination of 2 things. I started off with the Iconic Flick Ink Felt Liner from Revolution Beauty. I've used this a bunch of times. I love it. My stomach is growling. I apologize. Okay, you don't need to join in here, buddy. Stop. But over the top of that, I put the W7 Galaxy Glam Metal Flash glitter liner. And my dear friend Allie, who lives in the UK, she sent a set of these to me. There's 3 of them. And I, again, forget I have these too. And I've struggled with using these in the past because, I don't know, they weren't really showing up over the top of the eyeshadow. And Steph, my best friend and sister, she said, try it over the top of a black liner because then the glitter will really pop. And I just love how this looks with the eyeshadow shades today. Love it. And there's a lot of different reflecty stuff going on in here and looks really cool. And then for my mascara, I'm using the Heemish brand that I got in some PR from Temu. I love this. Okay, so now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, She's in Parties from Melt. What I'm discovering is that there are some different shimmer formulas in Melt palettes that I don't know that I love. I don't know. This one worked really good. I mean, it was beautiful. It does provide a metallic sheen to my lids. I mean, you probably can't really tell in the camera, but in real life, you can see the metallic stuff that's going on with this shade. But this one here, Skeleton Kiss, was very disappointing to me. It started off like, oh, yes. And then it just kind of like dissolved into the matte. And I sprayed it, but usually that doesn't matter. Usually that makes it pop even more, for me anyway. And I don't know, it was really strange, really weird. I did pop She's in Parties on my lower lash lines along with a little bit of Last Caress, and also I put a little bit of Mean Streak too. You know, the mattes are so beautiful. They're so pigmented and so blendable. I love the Melt matte formula. You know, these two worked okay, but I don't know. I also tried putting this in my inner corners and it just did not do anything other than look kind of chalky and weird. It's so similar to the Calaca shade in the Muerte palette. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's something, I don't know. I haven't had this palette for very long. I feel like it's like the age isn't the issue. It's just a weird formula, but I love this palette. I do. I love it so much. I just don't know about this shade. I've used it before and it didn't act like that. I actually used it over the top of this shade here, these two together. And maybe the depth of this shade underneath this just wasn't jiving. But usually I don't have that problem. So let me know if you have this palette. Let me know what you think of it, if you have any issues with the shimmer shades. But I'm so glad I stuck with it and just, you know, did the look because I really like how it turned out. I did pop a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora Glow Kit over the top of the Skeleton Keys. What is it? Oh my gosh, what's it called? Skeleton Kiss. I popped this over the top, Luna, just because I wanted some brightness, and that shade did not give me any brightness in my inner corners. And I think it looks nice. It looks really pretty. So I cannot wait to go and watch Tracy's video and see what shade she randomly chose, watch her look come together. Of course, listen to the answers that she gave to the questions that I put together. This is so fun to collab with Tracy. I love her so much, and I know for sure. I mean, maybe I don't know for sure, but I hope, Tracy, I hope that you will collab with me again. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself, be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.